Hello, welcome to this video. This video is going to be our log on Facebook selling video games on the Facebook Marketplace, day 7-3. So, this was just going to be a short video where we could show you how people could scam you using a price charter or eBay. I guess how they can scam you when checking prices of video games and then tell you how much they're actually worth, right? So we had some examples here. We had these two consoles right here, and these controllers, and we had this one game here, Capcom Classic Collection Volume 2, and this Dark Souls Collector's Edition. We'll just call it a Collector's Edition for now until we actually figure out what it is, right? So we have these here, and these, and we're going to go to our room as well to look at everything that we set up on the computer down there. So I guess the first example would be this Xbox Capcom Classics Volume 2. How people could scam you with this game. Alright, so now let's try to find the price of this game. So this is what this person just did. They came to my place yesterday. They were looking to purchase this game. They said they would look it up for me. And when they look it up, they actually buy, trade, and sell video games themselves. They've been doing it for a long time. So I don't think they would make this mistake. They made this mistake multiple times. They're like, sorry, I was looking up the video game and I must have misclicked and clicked the cheaper option for some reason. My bad. Although they do that all the time. They'll try to offer you much lower prices for the game and try to trick you to think it's something different. So if we look here, we're looking for Capcom Classics Volume 2. We can see PlayStation 2 is worth about 20 bucks. Capcom Classic Volume, oh yeah, PlayStation 2, 1833, right? So for the PlayStation 2, this video game costs 20 bucks. But for the Xbox, this game's actually worth 70. I think we actually were selling them for like 40 or something. I think that's what we were selling that one for. Although, right? So he wanted to come here. He's like, oh yeah, I picked this one out. This game's worth about 20 bucks. I'll give you 10 for it. And he was just talking about the PS2, like literally on his phone. He had his phone out and he had it pulled up. He's like, yeah, I'll look at this game for you. Yeah, we got PS2 here. This game's about 20 bucks. And then he showed me this price, right? Although the real price was this game. So he was trying to say this game is only worth 20 bucks when it's actually worth 70 according to Price Charter. Another thing people do is they could scam you by saying it's a US price, right? So if you look at the top left here, you can easily change this if you were buying a game or if you were selling it, right? So what people do is when they're going to buy a game, they'd go buy it and say this game's worth 52 bucks. And then they'd give you a offer, maybe like 20 bucks or something for that game. And then when they go to sell it, they go up here to this button. They click from US to CAD. And then they say this game's worth 70 bucks, so I'll sell it to you for 60. So it jumps up the price, right? So if you look here, USD, usually it's a $50 game. It jumps up to 70 bucks. So just by pressing that little button at the top, you could increase or decrease the value of the game by $20, depending if you're buying or selling the game. People do that a lot. Alright, so now we'll go through this game. So the reason that we have this game as an example is just because that same person was just here and he just tried to pull the same scam saying that this game's only worth 30 bucks when it's actually worth 60. So always trying to find a lower price so when he's buying items, but when he's selling items, he sells them for a high price. Like what he would do, when he's buying it, like, yeah, this game's worth 60 bucks. I'll maybe give you, I'm sorry. When a scammer comes here to buy a video game from you, he'll be like, yeah, this game's worth 30 bucks. I'll buy it from you for maybe 10 bucks if you want. And then when they go to sell it, this game is worth 60 bucks all of a sudden. So that's what they do. When they go to buy the game, this game's only worth 30 bucks. But when they go to sell it, suddenly it's worth 60 bucks. That's the tricks that they do. Alright, so here's the next example here, right? So we're in the room, so we're on the computer with all these things pulled up. And we're going to show you how to change this game from a $30 game to a $60 game. It's a pretty cool trick. It's pretty easy to do, actually. So if you go here, you're searching for what is the value of the Dark Souls limited edition for the PlayStation 3. I'm pretty sure that is the same one, right? He's sitting there, he has the sword, and it has the glowing effect. And he's sitting there, has the sword, and it has the glowing effect. So it is the same game. So if we look here, the one on the left, where's the USD prices? Yeah, I guess it's not showing. We would have to move this over a little bit. USD prices. So if you can see here, the one on the left is USD prices. The one on the right is Canadian prices. So if we go here, I guess now that we did that, right? Left is US, right is Canadian prices. And if we look, what he did is he came here and he said, this game is probably worth like $30. So he went here, he went to his price app, he went on the left hand side. So this game, loose, is maybe worth like $30 in US, but in reality, it's complete and it's worth 60 in Canadian. So that was his trick there, right? He said loose is $30, maybe complete is $60. And then he was trying to double the price of the game. So that's what they do. Like when they're going to buy a game, switch it to USD, maybe give it the lowest price possible, which would be the loose copy to buy it. So you maybe buy it for $10. And then when you go to sell it, get the complete price and try to sell it for $60 because the price suddenly jumped up from $30 to $60 somehow magically. Just by pressing this one button, right? So we can do that, right? If we go here, CAD, change it from USD. Like, yeah, this game, Dark Souls, maybe it's worth like $30 loose. I'll buy it from you for $10. And then when you're going to sell the game, you make CAD. Like, yeah, this game's worth about $60, so I'll sell it to you for $60. So that's the little trick you can do just to double the value of a game when you go to buy it and sell it. Just do two different stories. I think it's a pretty common tactic. I don't really like it, but everybody does it. Except for me for some reason. Oh, I just remembered, right? So this thing, it's actually factory sealed as well. So it's a brand new. So not only is it a $30 game, it's actually a factory sealed. So considering that, he wanted to offer $30 for it. And if you look at the new prices, USD is $175. So imagine if he was making an offer, he may be like, look, it's worth maybe about $170. Maybe I'll give you 100 or 70 or something for it. But in reality, in the Canadian price, it's like $240. So that's like a $65 price difference, right? So it's like 175, then it jumps up to almost $250. We see that extreme with some other games. Some games they just change prices just by doing that. It's just like magic. How a $30 game or how a $240 game goes down to a $30 game just so that he can resell it for $240. I think that was his plan, right? He came here, he seen this, he was like, oh, cool, look, there's a Dark Souls factory sealed. If I could get that game for $30, I would be able to resell it for $240. That was his plan. That's their goal. All right. And then we just have these two consoles here. So you also have these consoles in the video because they're a good example because the same person wanted to buy these consoles and he was so intent with leaving on them, right? He was so happy to leave with them at the price that he said, which was he offered $150 plus 75, so $225 altogether for these two systems plus all the controllers. Which in reality, I think it's like 800 at least, maybe like 600. So it's worth like 600, 800. And he just wanted to pay like $200. That was it, 225. All right. So we do have this example at the top. So we had on this screen, right? This screen was the other games that we just showed. This screen, we had saved up the video game consoles with all this information that we needed to maybe figure out what it's worth. So the thing is, when he was pricing it, this crystal console, this one over here, this is what he pulled up on his phone, right? So he pulled up, we were looking at the crystal console. He's like, yeah, I can look up the price of the crystal console for you if you want quick. And then he flashed this to me. He didn't even let me look at his phone for too long. Like, I think I had a phone here, right? I think we had a phone. Yeah, so let's say here's his phone, right? And if he has a eBay up, he's like, yeah, here's the price right here. That's what he did. Like, here's the price. That's what it is. 146. 146. That's it. So, just because he knew that I would maybe see that it's ebay.com, which is showing the US prices, not ebay.ca. So, I thought that, right? When he left, I was like, maybe I can look up this item, try to find the exact same listing that he pulled up on my phone that he wanted to show me. And what he was saying was that the crystal console is worth about $150 when he is buying it for me, right? So he offered 75, about half of the price. Although when he's going to sell it, he's going to say it's worth $200 because when he goes to sell it, he's going to say it's the Canadian price. So he just increased the price by $50, right? That's a pretty good example right there. We can see with the Crystal console, if you're going to buy a Crystal Xbox from somebody, show them the price of the eBay.com, which would be $150 when you go to buy it from them. And then when you go to sell the item, say it's go to ebay.ca and say it's $200 and say it's not the ebay.com prices. We're in Canada. This is ebay.ca. It's actually worth $200 here. So it's crazy how the price changes by $50 as they're buying and selling it. And same with this item here. So I guess this is what the price charter says for this item, right? So, I'm not sure what he did. Maybe he was looking at 175. That's the US price compared to the Canadian prices. Loose is 130 US. Complete is, or no, Canadian. Canadian is 175, right? So, he was saying it's worth like 150. I guess he was just looking at the eBay listing there, right? So that's like a 50 price difference. But we can see maybe it's like 130 US. It's 175 Canadian. So just by switching the US button to Canadian, you can actually say this console's a $50 different price depending if you're buying it or selling it. And then the blue console here, he was saying it's worth $300. So I guess we had these pulled up. The one that we have is really rare. We can't find it. I think we did have some other. Oh, these are the listings right here. Okay, we did have some more examples over there too. But if we look over here, he searched the system up on a price charter, and he was saying it was worth $300. So he searched it up. Price charter is like, yeah, we looked it up. This system is about $300 US. But if you look on the right hand side in Canadian, it's more like $500. So his scam is here to go to places that are selling video games, use the US prices when buying them, saying this blue console is only worth $300. I mean, I'll give you $150 for it. And then when he goes to sell it, he just changes it to Canadian prices and says, I'll sell it to you for $500 because we live in Canada, so it's more like $500 here. Or he can sell it for like $480 or something. That's like over $100 difference, right? So it's just $100 in pure profit just by pressing that US to CAD button, right? It's so it's just like a magic or something. It's like, yeah, we looked at this item. It's worth $300. I'll probably give you $150 for it. And then when somebody goes to buy it from him, he'll be like, yeah, this item's worth about $480. I mean, I'll give you like $450 for it or something. Instantly just gaining an extra $100 pure profit just by pressing this little magic button here, right? USD, maybe it's like 355, maybe it is worth like 300 in the US, but over here, it's a lot more expensive. As well, the system, there is a alternate one, which this one is worth a little bit more by the looks of it. Except this one you can find everywhere. This one you can't find it. It's extremely rare to find this one actually. So even in the other one, right? If you look at 447 US, look over here, 609 CAD. So if you see the system, he might be like, yeah, it's worth maybe like $400. Maybe I'll give you 200 for it when he's going to buy it from someone. And then when he's going to sell it to someone, he'd be like, yeah, it's worth about $600 all of a sudden. I'll sell it for like around like 600. It's so crazy. It's $150 pure profit just by changing the thing, right? But we're looking online. Okay, there is these ones here, right? So this is the other system with the silver logo at the top. This is the system with the silver logo at the top. So you go to eBay right now, you can buy it for $500 US. So I guess this blue system might be worth about $500 when he's buying it. But when he goes to sell it, he'd be like, wow, suddenly it's $700. So just by doing that, it's so crazy. I don't know what this video is about. I don't know why we made it. The main reason is just because somebody came over here and they just keep doing this, and then we got frustrated for some reason. So you gotta watch out for that. If you're watching people change the prices, you have to double check them and make sure that they're not doing this USD to CAD magic trick to take all of your money from you. So that's what we were doing. You could buy this one, 500 US or 700 Canadian, $200 profit if you do the CAD to US magic trick when buying and selling it. And here's actually the only one that we've seen that you can actually buy. The one that we have, none have been sold since 2021. We checked Price Charter. It's like the last time the system has been sold was in 2021. And maybe it's worth like 483. I guess depending how you look at it, the system could be worth like $300 or $500. One of those two prices, depending if you want to make $200 or not. So this was the only one that we could actually find. This is the only one that's available in the world for sale right now. So if you look on the left, right, U.S. prices, maybe if he did pull it up, like it's the one with the black logo, and then even if he did find it, like we did, he would just give us the U.S. prices, I guess. He would just be like, yeah, this system, I found it. I got a pick here. It's maybe worth about $600 when he's coming to buy it. But when he goes to sell it, suddenly it's worth almost $900. Instant profit. All right. And then these ones they did sell. I don't think that's that's maybe the silver one too, right? But we're just showing. Here's another example. U.S. Yeah, this exact same item. Maybe the system's worth $500 U.S. when buying it, but when you're selling it, it's actually worth $700 Canadian, pocketing an extra $200 profit. Just with this one trick. So I was interested. Is it the silver logo one? What? Oh no. Oh no. I was interested in that, right? Yeah, it is the silver logo one, right? You can't find the black logo one. So the silver logo one sold for 700 Canadian, or I guess it would be a 500 Canadian, depending on how you're looking at it. 500 or $700. So I think that's the end of the video. That was the end of the video. We just had people coming over here to try to do this trick to us again. And I don't think that we're going to deal with them anymore. All right, we're back. So we were going to go downstairs and just end the video, but then we actually remembered about a few things. I thought of a few things. The controllers, right? So beyond that price, the controllers are included as well. There's 4 of them. You get the all of them have the silver logo on them. But if we were just searching for them, we could not find the blue controller for sale. And the blue controller has never been sold individually either on eBay. So I'm not sure about that one. The only way to get that controller is actually by buying it with the system, right? With that system that we had up there. Wherever that one was. Oh, Dead or Alive console. The only way to get this blue controller with the silver logo is to buy it with the system. That was what we were saying. So if you look here, if you're maybe trying to value the controllers, maybe I bet you if that person who was coming here is coming to buy the controller, he'd say, Look, this controller. Maybe it's worth about 20 bucks. 20 bucks. Looks like it's been selling for like 17.95, maybe like 17.95, maybe 25.69. We got three prices. When in reality, we live in Canada, and it's actually been selling for 25 to 35. So it's actually more like 30 bucks. So it's crazy how just by looking at these two different sites, you could see it's pretty much a $10 difference by this controller, right? If you're buying a controller from somebody, go use the US site and tell them that the controller is worth 20 bucks. And then when you're going to sell it to somebody else, use the Canadian site and say it's worth about 30 bucks. You'll get an instant $10 profit. And you can even go here, right? You can go to price charter. This is the highest price. We could be like, yeah, it is worth about 30 bucks. That does make sense. I guess that's the USD price, right? Even in a Canadian, it says it's worth 45 bucks. So you can just go to a price charter, right? Switch it to Canadian when you're going to sell it and say like, this controller's worth 40 bucks, and then you would gain an extra 10 bucks, right? Don't go to eBay when you're selling it from somebody. You'll just make an extra 10 bucks. Price charter is better. You could use that because that's an extra $20 profit. So that's how you use these good tricks to get things super cheap, right? And then what else? Oh, this thing, right? So actually, we never actually use Price Charter. We never use Price Charter. We just use eBay all the time. We just started using Price Charter because somebody told us about it. We figured maybe we should actually start trying to figure this program out. And it's actually super helpful. It is pretty accurate. It is really accurate if you do the USD and Canadian prices properly. So the final game we have up here is just an example of some game that we sold to another person locally, and he uses Price Charter. He buys and sells a lot of video games. So I guess there's two different people you talk about, right? This is the scabber, buyer, and seller who just uses the USD price to buy items and then the CAD to sell items. But actually, this other guy, he came over here. Both of them actually used to come to my video game store a lot. Both of these people used to come to my video game store. They used to buy, trade, and sell things quite a bit over there. And now we're buying and trading. No, we're just selling things. Now we're just selling things to them. That's it. So if we look here, we'd see the first person. I don't think we're going to be dealing with the first person anymore because we don't like him because he's just trying to give us the lowest prices when buying things. So we sold it to the person who actually uses Price Charter, and he actually uses Canadian prices. So if that first person who came in, who's the scabber, he'd come in, he'd find Valkyrie profile. Like, oh wow, what's this? Valkyrie profile. That game looks pretty cool. And then he'd look it up and be like, well, it looks like it's worth about $200. Maybe I'll give you 100 for it. How do you say that? But in reality, on Canadian, it's actually worth 280, so closer to 300. So I might want like 150 for it. So the scabber, he tried to save 50 bucks by using the US prices when trying to buy it, then switch it to here and try to sell it, say it's almost 300 bucks to gain a $100 profit. But actually, the second person, he came in, he price checked this game. I didn't even look it up. He price checked it. He told me he's actually a honest buyer. Actually, knows the difference between CAD and USD. I guess the other guy does. He just knows how to use it to scam people. This guy actually knows how to use it to actually do business. But he pulled out this game and he said this game is worth $280. That's the price that he quoted me when he searched up. So he could have been a scabber. He could have been like the other guy. He could have been like, yeah, there's a Valkyrie profile. I got it here. And then flip out his phone quick. Like, yeah, it's worth $200 by the looks of it. I'll give you 100. But instead of that, he showed me his phone. He's like, wow, this game's worth $280. Maybe I'll give you 150 for it, right? So that's how much profit these guys make, right? The scabber, he would have made an extra 50 bucks. And this guy, he lost out 50 bucks because he's not a scabber. I don't know which one's better, the scabber who gets absolutely rich by doing this, or the honest person who loses out on all of this free money. So we don't condone scamming. We don't condone scamming using the CAD to USD trick. Disclaimer, we don't condone it. We don't do it ourselves. We actually search for things. We buy everything maybe at like 50%. Squirrel can't make it double their money, but the scammer, he has to 4 times his money. Everything he tries to buy, he always tries to make 4 times the money he put in. Like if he spent $20 on a game, he has to make $80 back on it. If he spent $10 on a game, it better be a $40 game. Wherever this person, the other person, like, yeah, you got a $40 game, I'll give you $20. I wouldn't mind that. I'd make $20 on it. Or if it's like a $80 game, he'd be like, yeah, $40, man. I'll give you 40, and then I'll make 40. But the other guy would be like, I'll give you $20, which is half of the money that the other person would have given you. That's an extra $20 difference. Alright, so end of the video. It's another like 26-minute video for some reason. Because nobody will watch it. Because all we do is just complain about scammers trying to take your video games for US prices and then sell them at Canadian prices, right? So, next video, these will be gone. Next video, all these will be gone. Next video, they'll be replaced with something else. And they'll be able to put other things there, right? I guess that week should have room to actually put these on the shelves so we can hold them there. Then to see if there's anything else back there. Maybe check see some boxes in here. And then just as we keep finding things and selling things in the video game store, we will be able to move new things in here until everything is gone. Alright, we'll end the video. What is it, 26 minutes again? See what happens in the next one. There we go. Oh, these things, right? These things might be sold as well. We might be trying to sell these things. We might be trying to sell the Sega Saturn. The Dreamcast might be sold. Oh, he's coming tomorrow. That's right. That's right. As well as this guy coming here to clear these shelves today. Somebody is coming here tomorrow to buy these 2 consoles, possibly, depending on if we work out the price right. Not the scammer. The scammer's not coming. The scammer was offering $225. No, I guess like $150. Yeah, we'll just say that. The video paused. So we'll just say the scammer was going to give us $150 for this console, but the other person was going to say give us double that. He was going to give us $300 for the console. How 2 different people change, right? One person offers you $150 for the console, and another person offers you $300 for the same console, which is twice as much. So just by talking to 2 different people, you could just make an extra $150 by doing that. That's a lot easier than scamming people. We'll see what happens in the next video then. Yeah, those might be gone tomorrow. He might be coming to pick up those, and these games here, right? These ones. The scammer, he was actually here. And he was saying these games, they used to be this much, right? Here's what he said. I'm interested in these 4 games here. Street Fighter 2, Double Impact, Capcom SNK, Fatal Fury, Street Fighter 3, for the Sega Dreamcast. And what he said was these games, they used to be around those prices. Maybe they were like between 60 to $120. But they crashed a lot. They re-released them. They did crashed out in price. These are generally worth about like $20 to $30 nowadays. So I mean, I'll give you maybe like $10 or $15 for each of them. However, I just looked up one game. I think I looked up Street Fighter 3: The Third Strike. This game by itself was $170, I think, when I looked it up. In Canadian prices, right? Not USD. If it was USD, it would just say it was like 120 or something. Give you an extra $50 profit if you do the USD to CAD scam. So we're not going to sell to him for $15 each for $60 for the stack. $50 each game. That's way too low. The other guy, he's going to give us a fair price though, right? The other guy, he's going to give us a fair price on these games, which is better than $50 on each of them. So that's the difference between dealing with a scammer and a person who actually has fair prices, who buys and trades and sells things. Kind of like my store. That's why my store, that's why I have so many things. That's why my store was so successful. Because people would bring things in and we would give them 50% of whatever it's worth, right? So if they bring in a $40 game, we'd give them $20. If they brought in a $20 game, we'd give them $10. This is all traded, right? We would trade it in. That makes sense. So if somebody brought in that, we would actually give them 50% of the value for the item. None of this 25% stuff where someone brings in a game worth $100, so I'll give you $25 for it, so I can make $75, so I can 4 times my money. All that we did was, yeah, this game's worth $100. We'll give you 50. We'll make $50. $50 is all right. We don't need to make 75 by ripping people off like that. Yeah, like if somebody came in, I think we had an example stack and then we ruined it. We did. It's gone. What did we do with it? I guess we had these ones here, right? So I guess we had an example, right? And then we decided not to do this. Oh, the battery's 20% battery. We still have a lot of battery, actually. We were going to do an example at the beginning of the video to show these games add some kind of example, but then like maybe it doesn't make sense to do that. And then we didn't do it.